Clump of grass that was falling with him. Clump, children, is, you have seen grass, no children, the roots are all together. So when you pull out grass, you don't get one, you get the entire group. So that's a collective noun. And rattle is a sound. This is what it's like when the ground gives away, thought Barney. Then he seemed to turn a complete somersault in the air. Somersault is, children, what? Have you seen gymnastics? Somersault, turning around. Even if you go to circus, you see the clowns. They do some somersaults. Bumped into the ledge of the chalk halfway down. Now bumped, children, is, when you just bang into somebody. Suppose you are in a hurry. Okay, you're moving fast. And then you just hit or you knock into somebody. Imagine you're getting late to school and you're walking fast on the road. So you just, a cyclist coming by and then you just bump into this. Or you could even make a sentence saying, I bumped into him this morning. Like you happen to see somebody and you just met. So that's called bumped into something or somebody. Into a ledge. Now children, what's a ledge? This is, a narrow horizontal surface. You can see it projecting from a wall or a cliff surface, even in rocks. If you see movies, you will see there's a ledge, there's a place like where you can stand or something and then you can look deep down. Or if somebody is falling from there. Of the chalk halfway down crashed through. Some creepers and ivy and branches and landed on a bank of moss. Now children, creepers, what are creepers? You have learnt in science, children. You're familiar with this word. It is a long climbing plant. Some creepers are very strong, children. Okay. Now ivy we have learnt last year in that lesson. Castles. Okay. So these are all plants. And landed on a bank of moss. So what has happened, children? He has landed means he touched the ground. Okay, that's on a bank of moss. Now children, as I told you, moss is what? They are small green plants, green or yellow plants in wet earth, rock walls or tree trunks. You can see, like you say, rocks near the river is covered with moss. Okay. His thoughts did those funny things they do when you bump your head and you suddenly find yourself thinking about what you had for dinner last Tuesday. All mixed up with 7 times 6. Children, read this. Pause. You may pause and read this. It's a funny statement, children, just telling us that, when you fall, imagine yourself, children, if you have experienced a fall, okay? And then you realize it's something very funny or like you're lost. Okay? Your thoughts are all disturbed. You don't know what's happening. So that's the similar experience of Barney. Barney lay with his eyes shut, waiting for his thoughts to stop being mixed up. Then he opened them. Okay, so here Barney they are still talking of his fall and his thoughts are all mixed up. Now children, mixed up is a phrase. He's confused. And now he has opened his eyes. Now let's see what happens further. He was lying in a kind of shelter. Looking up, he could see a roof or a part of a roof made of elder branches and a very old rotten carpet and rusty old sheets of iron. Children, what's the meaning of rotten? Rotten is falling to pieces. Okay, you say rotten eggs. Okay, so that's the meaning of rotten. Now rusty is, generally you have these tins, when tin shed, when it rains, even if you go to some shops, you will see there are tin sheds. So when it is rusty, they turn reddish brown, these iron sheets, and then you see them, they are going to crumple or they are going to fall very soon. There was a big hole through which he must have fallen. He could see the white walls of the cliff. Now children, cliff is what's a cliff? It's a rock, a mountain, smaller than it. The trees and the creepers at the top and the sky with the clouds passing over it. So you imagine, children, that Barney is in a sleeping position. He has fallen, okay, and his face is upwards. Now, let's move further. Barney decided he wasn't dead. He didn't even seem to be very much hurt. Children, why do you think that he wasn't very much hurt? Imagine he has fallen in a pit. And why do you think he wasn't much hurt? Think. Let's see if we can find the answer for this. And he wasn't dead. Children, sometimes the pits are very deep. Okay? So here all this Barney is thinking. He turned his head and looked around him. It was dark. I just moved this book, children, so that it gives you a view. Yes, now it's proper. He turned his head and looked around him. It was dark in this den. After looking at the white chalk, and he wouldn't see what sort of place it was. Now children, this here when they talk of chalk, it is earth. Okay? They are talking of earth. The natural thing. And den, what do you mean by den, children? The animal lives in a den. Animals live in den, the lion. Okay, den is a secret place. So that means, children, this is a cave, a den, and a secret place. Now let's see why he wasn't hurt. It seemed to be partly a cave dug into the chalk, partly a shelter built out over the mouth of the cave. Now children, see the description, the setting over here. Okay. Now children, you just imagine this. I don't know if you see these programs on TV about animals. If you see Nat Geo, or if you see there's a program which comes on survival. If you see how they trap these animals. Have you seen how they trap an elephant? What they will do is they will dig a pit, and then they'll, they create as if it's falls like earth. They'll cover it with leaves and all, and the elephant doesn't know. And when he walks, he falls into that pit. It could be an elephant or any other animal also. So you imagine this to be that way when he's talking of the cave and the mouth of the cave, the den. Right? Now, there was a cool, damp smell. Damp is wet, moist. Wood lice and earwigs dropped from the roof where he had broken through. Now, wood lice and earwigs, children, these are small insects. If you see in the glossary, it is explained there. Now, these are wood lice. They feed on rotten wood. If children, many of you go to your village and you want to explore your village, explore is to find out. Here, see what was Barney doing? He was exploring. No, exploring is where you travel through and you learn. So if you have been to your village, then you like to go for walks, you like to go around, and you can see this rotten wood, and you will see these insects on them. So all this dropped from the roof where he had broken through. So this was a covering. The cave, the mouth of the cave is a covering. Right? Now, but what had happened to his legs? Now children, here we are getting the answer for why he was not hurt. Why was Barney not hurt? He couldn't sit up when he tried to. Now Barney fell and he wanted to sit up, but he couldn't. Why he couldn't? His legs couldn't move. Perhaps I have broken them, Barney thought. Why do you think, children, he thought so? See, he has fallen from a height. Imagine if we are rolling down the stairs. So, he thought he's broken his legs. What shall I do then? He looked at his legs to see if they were all right and found they were all tangled up with the creepers from the face of the cliff. So can you see here? They were all tangled up. Children, tangled up is what? This is a phrase. Tangled up is twisted around. Children, nowadays for our online classes, we are using these earphones, no? You see them? They are all tangled up. That's the meaning of tangled up. Okay? Now, see children, so that's the reason why he wasn't hurt. Can you understand the story? What's happened is, when he was falling, all those creepers, as I told you, some creepers are very strong. So he got tangled up in his legs. So he didn't fall directly. His fall was like, it was like a broken fall. He was falling like slowly and slowly. Now he's wondering, who tied me up? Thought Barney. Who tied me up? Thought Barney. He kicked his legs to try and get them free. But it was no use. There were yards of creeper trailing down from the cliff. Now children, yard is what? It is a great length of 1 yard is equal to 0.9 meters. Children, have you seen this Tarzan? You see him swinging? Okay, so some creepers are really very strong and there are yards of it. So now children, you realize why it was not a straight fall and why he was not hurt. I suppose I got tangled up when I fell, he thought. Expect I would have broken my neck if I hadn't. Children, expect is, you say, I'm expecting the rains or I'm expecting a guest. Likely to happen. He lay quiet and looked around the cave again. Now that his eyes were used to it, he could see further into the dark part of the cave. So now he's alone there down in the cave. Okay, and now he can see a dark part of it. There was somebody there or something. So children, what do you think? Was there somebody or there was a thing over there? Something scary, something friendly. So would you like, children, to read the rest of the story? This is just an extract, as I told you. Would you like? So when you visit, if you happen to visit any bookstore, you can always buy this book and you can have a collection of books. So you can read the story. So children, now what you need to do is, you need to read the lesson. After that is, you're going to do the word check. Children, I've already discussed when I was doing the lesson. Even the phrases I have done, I have explained. You may pause the video. Children, I want you to be independent now. I don't want, I am writing everything and giving it to you. I don't want it that way. I want you to be independent learners. So please, you may pause the video, you may listen. Which are the right phrases, which are the meanings, use your dictionary. Now comprehension also you can do, children, the A1. I've already discussed what did Barney think when he saw the steering wheel. Barney wasn't allowed to. You remember all this was discussed. Barney landed. So you'll tick the right option from here. Trees and creepers grew. Read the text. You will find the answer. I'm there to help you, children, but try it. It's not that difficult. Now for the B one, you'll only do the first and second one. Why do you think Bani wished he was at the bottom of the pit? We have already discussed, children. It's a very simple one. Okay? Because he wanted to get the bicycle. He wanted to get at the bicycle. You remember this sentence over here? They didn't let him have a bicycle. And what about the second one? Why do you think Bani lay quiet after he had fallen? Yes, why did Bani lay quiet after he had fallen, children? Because Bani had a shock. Okay, he was shocked when he fell down, right? So that's the reason. Or you use your imagination. Why do you think? So that's all, children. Please read and write the answers. Happy learning.